Hello, fifth grade students. This is Miss Weston here with your last screencast of the year. Congratulations, and thank you so much for working so hard. I just wanted to take a second before I go over the rest of your packet to just talk about what you should do this week, because I know that it's really challenging when you're not in your classroom with your teacher to try and keep track of your deadlines and to stay on top of your work. I know it can be really challenging. So I'm going to try to help you figure out what is the most important thing you need to do this week. So the first thing you need to do is finish reading the Watson's Go to Birmingham book. So that's the first thing you need to do. Make sure that you're all the way caught up with the book and complete all the activities for each chapter. Once you're done with that and you are all the way through chapter 15 and you're finished, then you also need to make sure that you finish watching your math screencasts and complete the work that Miss Layton or Miss Ngali gave you for your math book, okay? So first things first, finish reading the book. Second thing, work on your math screencasts. If you are not finished with the first two things, that is what you need to work on this week, okay? That is your priority. And here's the deal. If you do not finish all of the work, you're still going to go on to sixth grade, but we expect that you will finish it over the summer, because the most important thing is that you feel prepared, because unless you're in Miss Ngali's class, in which case you're super lucky and you'll have your same teacher again, Miss Layton and I will have a new group of students, so we won't be able to work with you on getting caught up. You're going to want to really impress your sixth grade teachers with how hard you worked over the summer. So you need to make sure that you complete this either this week or through the summer, okay? So that's really important for you to know. If you are already finished with everything and you've been on it and you've turned everything in, then you get to work on the essay this week. If you are a little far behind, or you really need to catch up on a few chapters or catch up on a few math screencasts, that's your only job from us this week, is to finish the work we gave you, okay? So if you are working on the first two bullet points, that means you're gonna just stop your screencast now, you're just gonna close out of it, and you're gonna go back to work. But if you're all the way caught up, then you're gonna continue on with me to talk about your essay. All right, if you are finished with your essay, that means you are joining me here for week 7, May 18th through the 21st, to work on your Watson's Go to Birmingham essay organizer. So here is your prompt. Write a 3-paragraph essay where you share your opinion about the following question. How can people show courage when facing adversity? The word courage here means bravery. So what I'm asking you is, how can people show courage, or how can they show what it means to be brave when they face adversity? And adversity means challenges, a hard situation, a problem, something that is difficult for you. So I want you to think about just the question in general. How can people show courage or bravery? And the first thing you're going to do is write down your opinion. So this is your essay graphic organizer. You don't have to write in complete sentences. It's just to help you get your ideas together, okay? So the first thing you'll do is write your opinion. So in my opinion, people can show courage by doing what? So for example, in my opinion, people can show courage by sharing their feelings with others. In the book, I've noticed that Byron, Kenny, Joetta, Mama, Dad, they all show courage because they talk to each other about their feelings, even when it's hard and even when they don't want to. So that's something I noticed in the book. So right now, you're going to pause and you're going to think, what's your opinion? How do you think people show courage? Maybe you think that people show courage by taking responsibility when they make a mistake, right? That's another thing we saw in the book over and over again, is that Byron learned how to take responsibility when he made a mistake and how to accept his punishment, which shows a lot of courage to say, you know what, I messed up and I'm sorry, and I'm going to really work on my behavior. That shows courage. The last example I can think of is that people can show courage by showing their love to others. In the book, I think it is amazing how Kenny and Byron actually show that they care for each other, and that's very, very courageous. They show that they love each other. So does Kenny shows Joetta how much he loves her, and so I think that's a very brave thing to do. So those are my 3 examples. You do not have to use one of my 3 examples. You can choose your own, but go ahead and pause the video and complete the sentence on your graphic organizer. In my opinion, people can show courage by blank. The next part of your graphic organizer is to find an example from the text. So I want you to find a challenge that a character faced and then explain it in your own words. So here's how that looks. In the text, blank, character's name, faced a challenge when, and then you explain the challenge. So for example, in the text, Kenny faced a challenge when he was afraid Joetta died in the bombing. That was a challenge that he faced. That was really scary for him, right? You could also talk about Byron, right? In the text, Byron faced a challenge when Kenny was drowning. Or in the text, Byron faced a challenge when he killed a bird. There are many, many, many different examples of characters facing challenges and showing courage. So what you're going to do is think of that example, but remember, you want to make sure that your example matches your opinion. So for example, if I said, in my opinion, people can show courage by showing others that they love them, and then my example is, in the text, Byron faced a challenge when he killed a bird, those don't match. That's not Byron showing a person that he loves them, right? So that doesn't match. But if I said, in my opinion, people can show courage by showing others that they love them, and my example was, in the text, Byron faced a challenge when he saved Kenny, that shows in his actions that he loves Kenny. So my opinion matches my example. So go ahead and pause the video and complete your own example from the text, and then resume the video when you're ready. Then the last part of your paragraph is going to be explaining how that character showed courage. So if I use my example that Byron faced a challenge when he saved Kenny from drowning, then my next sentence is going to explain how he showed courage. So for example, Byron showed courage by jumping into the dangerous water to save Kenny and showing him how much he loves him, right? So the 3 sentences work together. You tell me what is one way that a character can show courage. You give me an example of a challenge that a character faced, and then you tell me how that character showed courage, all right? You're gonna do the same thing for paragraph 2. You're just gonna tell me another way people can show courage. So think of a second example. Another way that a character faced a challenge, and then another way that that character showed courage. Okay? So I want you to go ahead and pause the video and finish up your last sentence for paragraph 1 and go through paragraph 2, and then resume when you're ready for paragraph 3. All right, if you are joining me, that means that you are ready for paragraph 3. So in paragraph 3, it's actually going to be your conclusion. This is what you're going to write. In 2 to 3 sentences, I want you to explain what you learned about courage from reading this book and how you will show courage in your own life. So there's 2 questions there. From this book, I learned courage is blank. What did you learn about courage? What does courage mean to you? And then the second sentence says, how will you show courage in your own life? So what's something that you're going to do in the future to show courage in a situation? It could be maybe that you will stand up for someone if they're being treated unfairly. Maybe you will stand up for others. Maybe you will share your feelings with others. Maybe you will work really hard to accept responsibility when you face a challenge or when you've made a mistake. So that is what your third paragraph is all about. Just 2 to 3 sentences, a reflection about what you've learned and how you're going to show courage in the future. So go ahead and pause the video and finish your paragraph 3 and then resume when you are ready. All right, if you are back with me, it just means that you're ready to do your draft. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to use your graphic organizer to write your essay. So what does that mean? That means that every sentence that you've written in your graphic organizer, you're going to rewrite onto the draft, the lines here, okay? So you're going to rewrite it. So that means your first sentence, which is the first sentence in paragraph 1, your opinion statement, you're going to write that sentence, the next one, and the next one, okay? Then you're going to skip a line and indent to start your next paragraph. So then you'll write the next 3 sentences on your graphic organizer. Then you will stop, skip a line, and write the last sentences, skip a line, indent, and write the last sentences for paragraph 3, okay? Make sure you are writing in complete sentences. Make sure you indent when you start a new paragraph, that you skip a line between paragraphs, and that when you finish your essay, that you reread it to check for spelling and grammar pitfalls. Make sure the names of characters begin with a capitalized letter. And most importantly, read your writing out loud to yourself to make sure that it makes sense. Okay? So that is your final assignment for the Watsons Go to Birmingham. When you finish, please share your essay with Ms. Ngali and I. We would love to read about what you've written. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. And if I don't hear from you or get to talk to you again, just know I'm wishing you a very safe summer. I care about you all, and I have loved being your teacher this year, and I can't wait for us to be back together next year. I hope you have a safe and happy summer.